The girl went back to Napoli because she missed the scenery, the native dancers and the charming song. But wait a minute, something's wrong, 'cause now it's a mambo, mambo Italiano, hey mambo, mambo Italiano, go, go, go. You mixed up a Siciliano, you calabrese do the mambo like a crazy with a hey mambo.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Today is March 25th, 2016.
And welcome to the Freedom Friday Hour. And I hope you all appreciate Dean giving us a little intro into the Italiano mambo.
Mambo Italiano.
Yeah, because that's kind of like what the world is going to. It's just a big mambo.
A big pizza ball.
A big pizza ball. A big spicy
pizza
ball. Okay, here's the deal. We are going to talk about, well, there's like a surge of stabbings in New York City, and they don't understand why.
Does that make it wrong?
I don't know.
Is that wrong?
But let me ask, how could you not understand why? You know, I mean, you got these totally crazy gun restrictions. Mm-hmm. You took away everybody's guns. They can't defend themselves. There's nothing but a bunch of nutty people there. You know, then they restrict the police.
Right.
The police can't get out and stop and frisk anymore. They can't talk to anybody without getting sued or losing their job. So they don't do anything. And then you wonder why. We don't know why everybody's getting... Well, you take away their guns, they're just going to grab knives and kill each other. It's amazing. But there's a huge surge. It is causing a lot of fear.
It is.
Okay. And with that, there was some white woman stabbed because she was white.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy just wanted to stab white people. And the previous, the article we're going to talk about, they don't really give the genders. I'm not the genders, but the race of the people.
Right.
But I bet a lot of this is black on white because there's at least one video that I saw with a black guy saddled up to a white woman and just
there's a lot of racial wars, a lot of racial tension right now, thanks to President O.
Who?
President O.
President O. Yeah, it's true. Then we're going to talk about the Seattle mayor and his executive order for transgenders. It's pretty interesting. And, you know, I love coffee. We're going to talk about a new type of coffee that I probably am not going to drink.
I hope not.
No. And I'll just give you
I ain't making it for you. I'll tell you that now.
No. I just give you a little hint. It has something to do with poo. I know. I talk about poo a lot on this show, but it has something to do with poo.
Yeah.
For
nasty.
Real. Okay. And then one of our Democrat, our liberal Marxist Democrat voters, I don't know, he tried to buy a BMW with food stamps. And when they wouldn't let him do that, he just came back and he stole it. So it's a pretty interesting story.
Well, he's entitled to it.
It's the entitlement. And then there's some UFO activity.
Ooh.
Yeah, UFO activity. Give us a scripture and we're going to get right into it.
Okay, Revelation 20, start with 7. And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom it is as the sand of the sea. And they went up on the breadth of the earth, and compassed the camp of the saints about, and the beloved city, and fire came down from God out of heaven, and devoured them. And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophets are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. And I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away, and there was found no place for them. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God, and the books were opened, and another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books, according to their works. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them. And they were judged every man according to their works. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire.
You know, that's the word of God, and it's true. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
And I know Satan cringes every time we read that.
Yeah, he does. Because he knows his time is short. It's short, Miss Kapow. Mm-hmm. And the stories on this show tell you just how short it is. We've been doing this stuff for a couple of years now, talking about the perilous times we live in.
Right.
They just get worse and worse. It hasn't got better over the last 4 or 5 years.
Surely has not.
It's gotten worse.
Worse.
New York Post. There's a man. Well, he says he slashed a woman because she's white. Mm-hmm. Now, there's more to it, because not only is she white, but he blamed her for the system that won't let him smoke his weed freely. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how that happened. And this poor gal, she's Polish. Mm-hmm. She's not even from here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he was arrested for randomly slashing a woman's neck in Brooklyn. He attacked her because she's white.
Well, you know what's interesting about this story? If it wasn't for the picture of him, you would never know that he was black.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up, because that seems to be the politically correct news media. They won't.
No.
Yeah, they won't report this. But I'm sure if there was a white Ku Klux Klan member who did the same thing, it'd be all over the place. It's just part of the game to cause more and more division and more hate between the races.
Right.
That's all it is. Mm-hmm. You know, we're reporting this not because we're racist, because the facts.
Right.
It's a bizarre friggin' crime.
Right.
That's why we talk about it. Mm-hmm. But it is interesting that if it wasn't for his picture, you wouldn't know. And same thing with the next story about all the stabbings. You don't even know. Mm-hmm. But there's a video that shows clearly a black guy stabbing a white woman.
Right.
So he blamed white people for the system, quote unquote, and for preventing him from freely smoking weed.
Go to Colorado.
He could go to Colorado, and he doesn't have to. There's white people there that you could live with, and they're all smoking weed with you, and everybody can live in peace.
That's right.
You know? I don't know why. The slasher chose to take out his anger on a 53-year-old woman, and he cut her across the neck as she was walking near the corner of Beverly and Rugby Roads in Ditmas Park in Brooklyn. She survived the attack, thank God.
Yes, thank you, Lord.
She says, she's from Poland, and she says, I was never racial. They never teach us to be racial in Poland. I didn't grow up with this racial thing. So she's just walking down the street. Mm-hmm. Then this goofy guy, after he cut her throat, he discards this large kitchen knife and an American flag bandana and some other stuff. So the cops get it. They find his fingerprints. They trace him down. And he bought paring knives and kitchen knives and said he was going to stab people. And that was his whole deal.
Wow.
Yeah. So obviously they took him into custody, and, you know, he's got to have some mental checks and everything. But this guy who did it, he has more than 20 arrests. 20. He's going to be brought back to New York because he went and fled at his mama's house.
So basically he's a career criminal.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't fix stupid. The guy's just, I mean, really, it's demonic. It's demonic possession.
Right.
And that's what we're seeing in society, greatly in society, is demonic possession of people.
Right.
I don't have to tell anybody what just happened last week, in Belgium. Mm-hmm. While our president was in Marxist Cuba,
right,
smoking cigars and holding hands.
And dancing.
And dancing, yeah. There's a picture of him doing the mambo in Cuba while the hundreds of people are injured.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Shows you his...
He's at baseball games in Cuba.
Yep.
You know, yucking it up with Marxists. Then he's going to go to Marxist Argentina. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
If you haven't woken up to see that the ruling elite just wants slaves, then you're still asleep.
Yeah.
You go back and listen to our archives.
People.
Yeah. And I'm not talking just Democrats. I'm talking Republicans too. Those people are just irritating the heck out of me.
Yeah.
This.
Well, their true colors are coming out now, aren't they?
Oh man. Well, they're gonna destroy everything because of their little stupid party.
Right.
It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. I hate these men. I really do. And when I did that, I did my Donald Trump finger.
You did.
I'm going to build a wall. I hate these men. It's all over, right? Stabbings surge. They just surge in New York City. And it stumps the police. And it sows fear among residents.
Sure
no one
does.
knows why. Why would this happen? Slashings increase while the total shootings and homicides fall. So they replace one weapon with another.
Yeah.
They're demon-possessed.
Exactly.
They're demon-possessed. So for the first time, NYPD is tracking the motives for knife assaults. For the first time.
Well.
Yeah. I would think that would be part standard of police work.
You would think.
Someone
Especially
gets
in
stabbed.
New York. Hello.
Yeah. The main question we want to ask, what was the motive? Why did they stab this other person? So now we're going to start tracking it.
Wow.
Good idea, guys.
Good police work.
Yeah. New York City has seen 20% increase in stabbings this year compared with last. And police say, well, that is a lot. The police say they don't understand why it's happening. And also they don't know what to do about it.
Wow.
What do you do about it? Well, most of the attacks are part of domestic disputes in homes, right? Random assaults without apparent motives are on the rise. As of March 13th, check this out, Ms. Kapow. They recorded how many incidents?
809.
That's up from?
673 last year.
Wow. So far, there's been 20 attacks in the subways, 9 more than last year, including a fatal encounter Wednesday at the Harlem station. Now, here's a video here. This guy's clearly black.
Yep.
This woman's clearly white, walking down the street, and he slashed her in the neck or the throat. Yeah, just walked up to her, and bam. That was in January. She's a 24-year-old woman attacked in Manhattan's Chelsea neighborhood. Kitchen knives, screwdrivers, box cutters, machetes, they're using them all. Stabbings have overshadowed a promising trend showing a 23% decline in homicides and a 12% drop in shootings compared to last year. Hey, guess what? You're not getting shot no more. You're just getting stabbed.
Slashed. Yeah.
I'd rather get shot because your chances of survival are greater with just one projectile going through you and hitting something vital or being slashed. You're going to bleed to death or you hit some. I mean, knives are really, really bad.
Yeah. All you need is a good artery and you'll just bleed out.
And you don't need to be skilled to use a knife.
No.
And then you have somebody who has some skill, forget it. Knives are very scary. Every day, the papers are reporting these stabbings. And so the public is getting really, really, scared. There's no warning. In January, we talked, about this just a second ago.
Right.
There was a surveillance camera that captured video of a man. Now, it doesn't say a black man. There's no racial stuff in here. You just have to look at the pictures. But I'm sure this stuff is racially motivated because that's what our Marxist, socialist, elitist government wants to do.
And this hasn't just happened. It's been happening.
Yes.
Years. Since Obama's been president.
Can you imagine if blacks and whites and Hispanics and Chinese and whatever you are, whatever race you are, and I don't care if you're transgender, LGBTQQQ, that you all bound together and said, our country is in a world of hurt. We need to fix some stuff. And bound together and said, we need to overthrow this stupid government and put new people in. Can you imagine what you can accomplish?
Yeah.
But that's why it's divide and conquer.
Right.
It really is. And in all these stories, and that's what it's designed to do.
Right.
Okay. So, anyway, this guy attacked a 24-year-old woman on a sidewalk in Manhattan. Without warning, he sliced her face.
Twice.
Yeah. In another attack that month, a 71-year-old woman required 30 stitches after a man with a razor opened a 4-inch gash on her left cheek as she sat on a subway train in Lower Manhattan.
Wow.
On March 10th, a man rushed up from behind and slashed 53-year-old woman's neck on a residential street in Brooklyn. I guess part of the problem is these people are just on a metro train. They're just walking and
they're unaware.
They're unaware. Yeah. Yeah. And someone comes up with a big old knife and decides, boom, just to poke you and stab you or whatever.
Yeah.
So
that's what's making it scary.
Yeah. And the police don't know how to prevent that, how to stop the escalation of it.
I think take everyone's knives away. Obviously, they don't play nice with knives.
Well, you should have to register your knives. You should have to register them and, and do a background check before you can buy a kitchen knife. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah.
Okay, you know who's gay?
Who isn't?
Well, I know who is. The Seattle mayor.
Yeah, and he also signed an executive order for men to be able to access women's bathrooms.
An executive order. Who else signs executive orders just whenever he wants? Mm-hmm. Obozo.
Yep.
So I guess he got that from that. But there's also a tie here to the crazy New York City stuff because he was influenced by New York City.
Of course.
Wait till they start having stabbings in Seattle bathrooms with men stabbing women.
Yep.
That's going to be fun.
Yep. Nasty.
This mayor's gay. His husband is the director of Parks and Recreation in Seattle. Yeah.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Following New York City's lead, Seattle Mayor Ed Murray has decreed an executive order that all single-stall women's bathrooms be used by men and all public men's rooms be used by women.
Huh.
2 days after New York City Mayor de Blasio issued an edict binding all public facilities throughout the nation's largest city, Murray then followed suit with his own executive order, opening public restrooms to self-described and self-diagnosed transgender men and women. These people are insane. Are they really are demonically possessed. I'm not just talking demon influenced. I'm talking possessed. They're controlled. Their thoughts, their lives, their actions are controlled by demons, disembodied spirits from the Nephilim that were part angel and part human. They're pure evil. They never should have existed, but they do. Mm-hmm. That's who's controlling this stuff.
Yep.
They're not human.
No.
They're really not. Not in a pure sense of the word. This mayor, he also commanded Seattle's Office for Civil Rights to give transgender sensitivity training to city employees, including Seattle Parks and Recreation. That's his boyfriend or his husband. I'm sorry, they're gay married.
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh, forgive me.
No,
The Seattle Center and the Seattle Public Library. Can you imagine working at the Seattle Public Library and now you have to sit through 2 hours of transgender sensitivity training? Mm-hmm. I don't know. I couldn't do that today because I would just like stand up, flip the table, cuss words would come out of my mouth, and I'd walk out and I wouldn't have a job. But I couldn't. No, seriously, how could I sit through that?
Yeah.
I would flip out. I would flip out. Oh, I can't. It would be unbelievable. I'm surprised they don't make the police and fire department go through it. Not yet, but they will.
Yep. And who knows if they haven't?
How much money is this costing taxpayers that live in Seattle?
Oh, a pretty penny.
Yeah, to do hours to go to some contractor that's getting paid big bucks to do sensitivity training for people who are just confused in the head.
Yeah,
they want to dress like chicks. Mm-hmm. How do I need to be sensitive to that?
I know. Nasty. And can you imagine how dirty that bathrooms are going to be? Ooh, nasty.
Men are pigs. Ugh. I don't care if they're dressed like women. They're pigs.
Spraying all over the place.
Oh, gosh. This gal, her name is... I'm sorry. It's not a gal. It's a guy. His name is Peter
La Barbera.
Peter La Barbera. He's of Americans for Truth. Well, he told this website that the Democrats are already the party of big homosexuality and big abortion. Now they're also the party that affirms gender confusion. He goes on, he says, people who suffer from gender dysphoria do not need the government to affirm their apparent desires to turn them into a supposed civil rights. They need to get real help because men cannot become women and women cannot become men. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Peter. Last August, the Democrat Seattle mayor proposed legislation recommended by his LGBTQ task force and Seattle's LGBTQ commission.
That's getting longer and longer, huh? It used to be just LGBT.
Yeah, and they added the queer to it. But before that, queer was a negative term.
Yeah.
To call somebody, a gay guy, queer was negative. Well, now it's part of what they want to be called. It's this satanic confusion. God's not the author of confusion. Only the stupid fallen angel is.
Yeah.
But can you imagine in Seattle they actually have an LGBTQ task force and a commission?
Yep.
Oh, my Lord.
It's not about coffee anymore.
No. And the city council unanimously passed it, making not just city-controlled, but privately operated buildings and facilities that accommodate the public change their single-stall bathrooms to accommodate all genders.
What does that really mean? They're all going to be open.
They're all open. If you have a bathroom that accommodates the public, to me that sounds like if you have a restaurant or a bookstore or something and the public can use your head, you have to change it to single-stall facilities that everybody can use it. Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me.
Yep, that's what it sounds like to me, too.
Mayor de Blasio in New York City, he did a unilateral decree. It just said, the mayor just ordered everything. He just issued an order that said everybody's going to use these restrooms. Well, this one guy, Stephen P. Hayford of New Yorkers Family Research Foundation, he said that had to go through legislation. It should have been handled through legislation. You can't just do a decree. That's like, you're not a tyrant. You're a mayor. I mean, seriously, how can a mayor just say this is what it's going to be?
Yeah. But see, they try it. And
there's no vote. There's no public opinion. Second, Hayford continued, the mayor's order is based on the confused notion that a person's gender is a legal construct assigned at birth rather than a biological reality. So in other words, it's not even real. There's no right there.
Right.
Third, and most importantly, Hayford concluded, the mayor's order completely fails to take into account the negative impact that opposite-sex restroom and locker room use by transgender individuals in city facilities would have upon other users of those facilities. Oh, my gosh. It's insane.
It's nasty.
It's insane. You know what? I'm going to talk about poop coffee. No, I love coffee, but poop coffee. But I'm going to take a break, and then we're going to come back.
Okay.
I just finished reading the ebook, Demons in My Marriage Bed, a true story of spiritual warfare, written by Paul and Linda Villanueva, and I highly recommend it to all Kingdom Against Powers of Wickedness radio listeners. This book is about saving your marriage from destruction. It is a true and vivid account about adultery, witchcraft, curses, spells, and evil spirits, all attempting to dismantle and annihilate lives. This is an excellent training manual for building a stronger marriage by exposing the tactics your enemies use against you. Ultimately, the book glorifies the transformational power of God through submission to the Lord Jesus Christ, and that is a good thing. Demons in My Marriage Bed is priced at $2.99 and is available as an ebook from all online digital retailers such as Amazon.com and Apple iBooks. Other formats for reading on your computer or printing out the book are available at fifthhookmedia.com. That is FIFTHOOK media.com. Demons in My Marriage Bed, a true story of spiritual warfare, changed the way my spouse and I conduct spiritual battle and has increased our alertness level to the tactics of Satan. Please do not be fooled that such things cannot happen to you. Rather, get prepared and become the spiritual warrior needed to overcome in these perilous times in which we all live. God bless you all.
Mr. Powell, we're back.
Yay.
I love coffee.
But not this coffee.
This is kind of weird. It's, it's like, how bored do you have to be this trendy?
Why would you think of something like this? That's nasty.
Well, this is Toronto, Canada. Canada. Okay. Toronto, Canada. Vancouver-based company
Doi Chang Coffee. Now, this will explain.
It will. Doi Chang Coffee. Okay, end of story. I don't need to say any more.
Good night.
Yeah, good night. Is bringing cat poop coffee to Toronto. Okay, the unique coffee gets its name. Folks, watch out for Duchenne coffee. It gets its unique name because it's collected from the droppings of the wild civet. Huh. It's a cat-like creature found in Thailand.
Dirty people.
Dirty. Why? Well, what? Because they eat cat poop?
Yeah.
The
Don't
cat.
you think?
Look at the cats are normal. The civets are normal. They're eating coffee beans, but they don't digest them. It's kind of hard to digest a coffee bean, right? So they're foraging the forest or whatever these civets do, and they're eating coffee beans. Well, the coffee beans, because they're undigested, remain in the cat's gut for about a day, and it undergoes some sort of fermentation. I'm telling you what, my mouth is watering for some good cat poop coffee. Some form of fermentation before they're defecated, that means pooped out, and collected by farmers.
Okay, why don't they just use the coffee beans before they feed it to the cats?
Because,
and then use vinegar or something like that. Some kind of other...
It doesn't have that natural fermentation of the cat's gut. According to Doi Chang, it's among the most highly sought-after coffee in the world. I find that hard to believe.
Yeah.
I would have heard of it by now.
I don't see it at Walmart.
No. Or at Starbucks.
No.
It's sought after because of the distinct flavors it acquires from the enzymes in the civet's digestive tract. It's also among the most expensive.
Oh, now that is insanity. That's double insanity. You drink cat poop, and you pay a lot of money for it.
Yeah.
That's double insanity.
That's demon possession.
Híjole.
That's confusion, man. You're so bored. You're so trendy. You got to pay a lot of money for cat poop coffee. According to Doi Chang, it's among the most highly sought after coffee.
And it's
expensive. That one. Okay. So anyway, apparently April 8th and 10th at the Toronto Food and Drink Market, they're going to have some. And so if you're around Toronto, you can taste some of this.
And if you can't wait that long, you can probably find some unroasted bags at the Green Beanery and Pusteries.
Well, that sounds delicious. I'd rather have an Italiano mambo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, this guy.
This next story
is about a man. He's an African American man, and what he does here is this is in Stuart, Florida. Authorities in Florida have arrested this poor devil. They say he stole a BMW after trying to buy it with a food stamp debit card. I don't know how much the government gives this guy.
He's pretty creative.
He's like, hey, like if I don't buy cheese and I don't buy cigarettes for a couple
why
of
can't
months,
I buy it with this credit card?
I could buy an $80,000 car. Yeah, it's a credit card the government gives me. This just shows you the mentality of some, I'm not saying all, some people that this government is creating. Mm-hmm. It's the same people that scream about reparations for slavery, and yet they have
the spirit of entitlement.
Yeah, and they put themselves into slavery, into servitude of the elite, stupid political hacks, and they don't get that. It's just amazing to me. Amazing. Martin County Sheriff's Office tells outlets in a statement that a 36-year-old was arrested Friday and charged with grand theft auto.
36 is not old.
No, and he's already on food stamp. He can't work for some reason. He just can't do it. He goes to Pompano Beach auto dealership. He tried to buy a $60,000 BMW using his EBT card. Oh, and a credit card. So we had both. Okay, so whatever the government couldn't make up, you'll have to make some payments before he quit making payments on it. But the deputies, he was turned down, right? The dealer wouldn't let him do it.
Of course.
Probably didn't have enough money on it. The deputies
say... Because they're racists.
They are racist. They're racist. Man, you ain't going to drive this BMW car. We're racist! You know? He returned the next night. Guess what?
And stole the car along with the keys from 60 other vehicles. He wasn't happy with just one.
No. He deserved more than just one. Mm-hmm. And the thing is if I can't buy it from the government, you're not going to give it to me. I'm just going to take it from you.
Yeah, because I'm entitled to it.
Yeah. And then I'm going to go slash the necks of white women in New York.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the deputies say that later they found Jackson with the car and the keys after he ran out of gas because he didn't have money to fill the tank. See, because he used all his money
to probably buy something else.
Yeah. Groceries.
Yeah. Or weed or something. Okay. So, So he wanted to buy a $60,000 car with a EBT card, but didn't have enough money to put gas in it.
Yeah. And what's interesting, the article says that he doesn't have an attorney. So if there's any attorneys out there that would like to do,
for free,
him, yeah.
And the taxpayers should pay for that.
Oh,
well,
most
obviously,
definitely.
It's not just, and they do in public defenders, and there you have open minds, Ms. Kapow. Info about UFO news and investigations.
Ooh, open minds is like Don't
do that. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
This is in Costa Rica. Now, this isn't some Photoshop nonsense. This has actually been investigated, is being investigated by MUFON. They're very good about weeding out hoaxes and phony stuff. They've turned down a lot of stuff because it doesn't meet certain criteria. So this is a legitimate story. These pictures are real legitimate. Mm-hmm. There's a picture of a saucer-shaped UFO hovering over an active volcano in Costa Rica. Here's what the story goes. A Costa Rica witness at Cartago reported watching and photographing a saucer-shaped UFO. I'm not going to even pronounce this. Near the Irazu Volcano National Park. According to testimony in case number 74756 from the Mutual UFO Network, or MUFON. It's a witness reporting database. These guys really do. Here's a bigger picture of it on our Facebook, fifthhookmedia.com. Fifth Hook Media on Facebook. There's pictures of this thing, and you can see it hovering over the volcano, and then there's a close-up of it. You can see the details of it. The witness was outside in the park area with a girlfriend in good weather with sunlight, no clouds, when the incident occurred about 11:06 a.m. This is February 24th of this year. This volcano is 3,400 meters of altitude above sea level. Blah, blah, blah. The witness said that they were so close to the biosphere, they were above the clouds because it's pretty high when he took this picture. He says, like when you fly an airplane, the sky was really clear. So at 11 a.m. on that altitude part of the sky, it was light black. Okay. The witness was taking pictures of the volcano and the landscape. The clouds look like a white sea, but I noticed close to one of the mountains some clouds with different forms, so I started to take pictures there. And it does. It looks real kind of weird. Yeah. Black clouds mixed with the white clouds. It's very unique. Mm-hmm. Then the witness finished the tour, and then he began to head home. He says, while I was checking the pictures, I noticed one black circle above the mountains, and I noticed that the mountains that he had noticed before with the black clouds, right? Mm-hmm. It looked like a circular saucer with two little antennas. It does. Like two little things sticking out. One on the top of it and like one on his tail. Mm-hmm. At the moment while taking the pictures, I did not see it. That's normal. Yep. You take pictures, you don't see these things come till later. I took the pictures in a burst. On one picture, you could see the object completely clear. On the next one, it vanished almost in seconds. And that's common, too. I've done the same thing where I've taken pictures in succession. Yeah. And then I have an object in the picture, and then the next ones are not. Gone. Yeah. Everybody knows that. I used to take pictures of UFOs all the time. Until you got slapped. Until I got slapped, and they tried to abduct me, and then I quit messing with it. On one picture, you could see the object completely clear. Like I said, in the next one, it's vanished. All the pictures have less than 1 minute difference. And then he attaches the picture. So the witness had included 3 images with the report. One, they were filed February 5th with the MUFON group. Mm-hmm. And they're investigating it. All right. So this park does have volcanic activity. I think it's interesting. And
It is interesting.
Yeah. Some minor
Because
lava
we've seen
flow.
several UFOs coming out of volcanoes, or at least hovering over mouths of volcanoes.
Yes, quite a bit. So
do they live there?
it doesn't mean it's from outer space. It doesn't mean it's a fallen angel. It doesn't. It could be whatever, man-made, whatever that would hover over an active volcano. I don't know, but the pictures clearly show a saucer-like thing with weird things sticking out of it. So,
It's a big beetle.
good luck with that. Okay, St. Patrick's Day had just concluded, right? And did you know
Right.
there was a big green meteor? They call it the St. Patrick's meteor. It was the largest and brightest ever recorded in history. It went across Britain. In history.
Wow. Isn't that amazing?
It's unprecedented. It
Yeah.
was so bright. It was so big.
It's almost like an omen.
Yes. And it was
Sign.
green on St. Patty's Day, and no one has ever recorded, since they've been documenting these things, anything so bright and so big.
A sign in the heavens.
It's a sign in the heavens. It's all collapsing. We're all this is the last show. We're gone. We're signing off.
Sayonara.
Good night. Everybody go do the Italiano mambo.
Oyasumi nasai.
Ooh, I like that.
Good night.
Good night. So let's say good night, and then we're gonna
Ciao, babies.
good night.
Please hang up and try again.
These signs will follow those who believe. In my name, they will cast out demons. They will speak with new tongues. They will take up serpents, and if they drink anything deadly, it will by no means hurt them. They will lay hands on the sick, and they will recover.